the world's most advanced cold wallet for the new generation of cryptocurrency lovers.
So if you are interested in buying this Decent wallet, you can find a link in the description down below where you will get a 20% discount. Thank you very much, and let's dig in the video.
Family, thank you guys for joining the video for today. We have some good stuff to dig in. Here we can see a video live to agree and disagree. ADA corruption is very clear within my lens. Interesting, because Charles Hoskinson has been talking about the SEC, been talking about Ripple, and he thinks that XRP should be a commodity. But that's an interesting view. It's not a bad kind of perspective, but I don't think he's really looking through the right lens. So let's take a look. Here we have John Deaton saying, I'd like to know if Charles is including me as someone peddling a conspiracy theory, because all I have done is provide actual facts for every single comment that I have made. I tweeted this 1 year ago. Everything I've said has been proven. So Charles believes that there is some kind of conspiracy or anything. Let's take a look at the video.
Switch gears and talk a bit about the crypto market at large. Folks wanted me to ask you, what do you think about what's happening with the SEC and all they're doing with crypto regulations? A lot of people not happy with Gary Gensler, the recent Kim Kardashian PR stunt, as well as the SEC Ripple lawsuit and the judge's, takes on what's been happening there as it relates to Ethereum and, the amicus briefs and things like that.
Yeah. Well, there's some people in the XRP community that are trying to invent this grand conspiracy that there was blatant corruption between the insiders at the SEC and Ethereum. And, I don't honestly think that that's the issue here. I think the issue is that both the CFTC and the SEC are ill-equipped from law and policy to properly regulate the cryptocurrency space. And so what they're doing is they're just trying to do it the way that they think they can with the framework they have. The SEC only has...
That's absolutely bullshit, guys, what this guy is saying. Absolutely bullshit, because we all know that they could have gone for far other cryptocurrencies that have been actually rugging and scamming people. There has been so many cases. Luna, for example, there's a lot of cases where there's actually scamming and rugging happening, and they go after Ripple, the most established company in the whole cryptocurrency space. So what he's saying, that they're ill-equipped and all this bullshit, it's all nonsense, guys. You can clearly see that the SEC is staged. You can all see that Ripple has like everything in place to actually win this lawsuit. This was all a game from the beginning. And then this guy goes and says that we have some conspiracy. No, as Johnny Deaton is saying here, the facts are very clear. There is no conspiracy. These are facts. Now, a lot of people think that the XRP community has a lot of conspiracies, right? But what those riddlers have been talking about all those years, you can see them coming true right now. Right now, you can see that Swift is implementing Ripple technology. The banks are working with Ripple. This was all conspiracy by a lot of people, but now it's actually happening. You see, these things are based on facts. They're not conspiracy. And this is what this guy doesn't understand, because he's looking through a whole different lens.
The ability to regulate if something is a security. If it's not, then it's not their wheelhouse. And so they're one of the very few U.S. regulatory bodies that has a consumer arm, because everyday people own stock. And so they have lots of people, they have lots of enforcement capabilities. And let's be honest here, Luna happened. Yeah. BitConnect happened. OneCoin happened. Okay, so thousands of cases every year of bad behavior have occurred in our industry, and the losses have gone from millions to billions to almost $1 trillion in under 13 years, faster than any industry before. And usually when you have an agency failure in the tens of billions of dollars, it does result in the creation of new law. A great example of that would be the collapse of Enron that led to Sarbanes-Oxley, or the 2008 financial crisis, which led to the Dodd-Frank Consumer Protection Act. Okay, so what's happened is the legislative branch hasn't done its job. They haven't showed up, and they haven't passed new laws to give new powers, new bureaucracies, new standards to properly regulate the cryptocurrency space.
Every country in the world, there is so many countries in the world that have legislation for crypto. Ripple is being used by 95% countries outside of the US. Why can all these countries have a clear legislation and the US doesn't? Right? Think about this. Think about this. This is not coincidence. Ripple is in a lawsuit at that point where it's all working and being implemented with Swift. It's not a coincidence, guys. It's not conspiracy. The facts are talking for itself. Settlement is coming up. I'm still believe XRP going hit in November and December this year. Be prepared, everyone. So Mr. Pool drops. This guy has been on point. Every tweet that he's tweeting, things have been happening. My father has, remember, he met my mother in an Or house. I was born in Diamond Apex. Me and you are not the same. Sologenic, guys. Pay attention to Sologenic. It's a platform where XRP NFTs will be implemented. Look at all those coins that are correlating between each other, that have utility and use case. XDC, Quant, XRP, Sologenic. I love these coins, guys, because they all have utility, especially Quant, one of the biggest utilities in the world today. So take a look out for those. There is no solution to the financial crisis without massive currency devaluation and global monetary reset. World governments will announce that we're back on a gold standard, and this will happen overnight. XRP. Precious metals will be revalued at far higher prices. This is absolutely true. Look at the price of gold and silver. It doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense. Now, there is massive inflation. You think that gold and silver are going to stay at these prices? Absolutely not, guys. There is something on the horizon. Something is going to happen that will cause a massive hyperinflation. And gold, metal, and silver and XRP will be one of those things that will just skyrocket overnight because they are the new standard. They will be used. Central banks to increase gold holdings over crisis concerns. That's not something small, guys. Here we have flashback 8 years ago. So Chris, how do you plan on distributing XRP? Now I want to show this because XRP is one of the few that has stood the test of time, and there is no other cryptocurrency besides Bitcoin that exists this long and has this many partnerships and doing what XRP does.
So Chris, how do you plan on distributing Ripple? I know part of it is set aside for the founders, and then the rest is given out to basically encourage people to use Ripple, or?
Yeah, so we have a different, obviously because we have a different confirmation method, consensus. What we don't have the requirement to have to reimburse validators, transaction validators with new XRP. Obviously in Bitcoin, because of the electricity and the computing power, the protocol has to reimburse validators with new Bitcoin. That's why there is the mining method in Bitcoin. You sort of have to have it that way. In Ripple, you don't have to have it that way. So we could have chosen to have a mining system, but our belief is it would be better to actually funnel that money back into Ripple Labs, keep Ripple Labs well funded, so we can keep hiring incredible cryptographers and engineers that can, increasingly improve the protocol. That's actually good for everybody. And then the second part is, since we don't have to distribute it to validators, Ripple Labs can give it to business development partners, to consumers broadly, to people globally. So two things that we've been doing which we like is we've been incenting market makers with XRP forgivable loans. It's essentially the vehicle that we're currently using. But we feel that incents, say, big currency traders, high-frequency traders to actually be active market makers on Ripple. That provides liquid markets. That's good for everybody. Gives them an incentive in the long-term success of the network. In some ways, exactly what Visa did, is they sort of gave out ownership of Visa to key banks to participate in the system. We think that's good. And the other cool thing that we've been doing that we like, we've been distributing XRP to consumers through a partnership that we have, sponsorship with the World Community Grid. World Community Grid is a really neat project. It's sponsored by IBM. It's a .org that basically tries to get the world to contribute their spare computing power globally in a shared supercomputer that then works on social problems like AIDS research, cancer research, building better wind.
Insane, guys. This is how you can see how far these guys are thinking in terms of future, right? David Schwartz created the XRPL back in 1988 when they didn't even had a name for the blockchain. Since they launched it with the XRPL, it never got hacked nor being halted. XRP was made to become the greatest asset ever created. This is insane. 1988, a patent, a United States patent, describing how they wanted to, and this is before the internet, guys. Just imagine that. Imagine how far these people have been thinking about this. This is not something that just fell from the sky. This has been in the works for a very, very long time. Just think about that. It's like the internet, exactly like the internet. This attempted play an attack on crypto is pretty laughable. In 5 years of doing this, I haven't heard anyone interested in working on decentralized tech or crypto say anything positive about XRP. Crypto will be just fine. This attempted play an attack, so this is what Matt Korva said on Twitter. Interesting. Ripple swell, guys, November 16, 17. This is where everything is going to go down. This is where announcements are going to be made. Make sure you check this out, guys, because I think they will literally announce things about Swift, and that's a possibility because it's in London as well. So the Bank of England is also a part of this. So don't miss this. It's very interesting. Sure, sounds like pre-allocating XRP. Now think bigger. If CBDCs are going to be built on the XRP ledger and XRP will be a global bridge currency, wouldn't central banks need to have an allocation too? Exactly. And this is where the billions of XRP that are in escrow are gonna come from. This is why that has been made. Think about it. No other cryptocurrency has the same system. Why do you think that is? It has been thought well through because they will use that allocation to give it to Treasury or the IMF as a backup liquidity, right? And that's what they need in this time to settle that, to do all the things to get the economy back. I agree, you can find corruption everywhere, but this is the time. They affected over 70k XRP holders represented by John Deaton directly, and it affected them and their families. This is our fight, we're not going away. So all involved need to get used to it until they right the wrong. Exactly, right? You can spend, so this is Charles Hoskinson's again, ADA. You can spend the next 50 years finding corruption everywhere you look. Here's another one for bankers. So he's actually saying that it's okay to be corrupted. I mean, come on, right? Come on. This is interesting. This is the new Lord of the Rings kind of series. And look at this, guys. This cannot be coincidence. Look at this icon. What do you see? See the Triskaline Ripple logo, XRP logo in the intro of the new Lord of the Rings. Signs are everywhere. Now, I'm not going to go into conspiracies and all that stuff. It's just a funny thing to see this because this is not the first time that we have been seeing this. Mr. Pool has that crossroad picture. Somebody find it. It's cool. It's nice. XRP Ledger hooks can now be deployed to testnet seamlessly. What is hooks builder? Hooks are very interesting, guys. Let's take a look what they say about it because it's smart contracts on testnet and it's live. This is going to be such a game changer for the XRPL ledger. And the reason being, just imagine Ethereum coming out, and it was still, Ethereum was coming out in 2016 when it was $1. The pre-sale was literally $1, guys. I've seen it, I saw it happening, and at that time, you saw that smart contract was something new, right? Now, smart contracts have been in the game for a while, but now it's going to be live on the XRP ledger. Imagine that, all the things that they can build on the XRP ledger being so fast and so cheap. The things, the possibilities are insane on the XRP ledger. And remember, XRP ledger has never been hacked and they cannot pause it because it's decentralized. It's going to be amazing. So keep an eye on that, guys, because it's going to be very interesting. Hooks, you're going to hear a lot about it because it's something that will change everything. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.